Salut, welcome to the Crypto Kid podcast. And today we discuss Bitcoin's big dip, bull run ahead. So, if you've been following the market, you probably noticed that Bitcoin is down today, and you're thinking, man, this is crap. But really, all it is just a Bitcoin sell off, which is preparing for the next bull run. So Bitcoin just recently, over the last week, it's been decreasing. So it's just took another hit, but don't panic. This could be the setup for something big. Every dip in crypto history has been followed by a massive rally. And with the 2024 halving and institutional interest on the rise, the stage is set for an explosive bull run. Let's check out where the price of Bitcoin is today. I know it was around 91,000, and so is up. Bitcoin is currently trading at 92,270. I just see this as an excellent opportunity to buy. Let's find out where Ethereum is. Ethereum is down $240 to the price of 3,026 US dollars. And let's check Bitcoin news. I don't expect anything. This is just sell off getting ready for next Monday, which is Trump's inauguration. And if my predictions are correct, I expect January 22nd, 2025, Bitcoin to surpass the price of 150,000 US dollars. So if you were to buy today at $92,270 and you just bought one coin, you would make approximately $58,000 on that one purchase. Let's see where it is. At some point earlier today, Bitcoin did drop below 90,000. So that is, I'm telling you, do not let these people mess with you. All they're doing is selling the market down to get ready for Trump's inauguration so they can run it back up. And if you just hang tight and don't panic, you should be all right in the market. And this is one of those things. If you're going to be in the options market where it's short term, then options and ETFs is not for the weary. So that means you need to think long term, and you would best serve yourself by buying coins, even Bitcoin. If you can only buy a partial 0.01 part of a Bitcoin, that it's in your interest, if you're new, to buy that 0.01 of a Bitcoin and hold on to it for long term so you can get some experience in this crypto game. Trying to jump in because you've been watching headlines and you've been watching podcasts from people like myself, that's a sure recipe for failure. I've done it. I've bought. If anytime you hear people on the airwaves like me right now talking about buy this or buy that, if you hear Jim Cramer on his program saying get this, it's already history. It's already yesterday's news. So Mark Bluebow is asking, what is your take on crypto liquidity pools? Mark, just to let you know, depending upon liquidity, like in Ethereum, and this is a great question, Mark. For liquidity pools, right now, I only feel comfortable with a few coins, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, the more popular coins like Cardano, Solana, Dogecoin, because these smaller coins, and this is what I got from a guy on TikTok, and he calls it crap coins. I'm trying to keep my language clear because I'm very close to monetizing on YouTube, and I don't want to get hit for using a 4-letter word, which I regularly and often do. But crypto liquidity pools are very important. if you don't have enough liquidity, what I've seen happen, and even with coins that I'm very familiar with, if I get in and there's not enough liquidity, what I feel happens is you become a victim to a pump and dump scheme where there's no way to get out of the market. Like if you look at certain people, you need to be careful, because I've seen people show their actual phone, a group of people show their phone, and they were talking about one particular coin, and I was considering doing it. I could have bought 10, $50. If I would have bought $50 of this coin and then the movement occurred the way they described it, I would be in the millions. And they all showed their phones, and they showed the volume, they showed the liquidity. But what I also realized, being a cyber guy, is you can fake that. And what I'm saying is that if I get together, like I'm a full stack Java software developer, if I get together with a few of my friends, let's say 5 of us, and we create a trading platform, we can upload that to the App Store or Google Play. And then amongst us, we could all give ourselves a certain dollar value to start out with our particular coin. And let's say Crypto Kid comes out with the Plumber coin. So that's my name is Daniel Plummer. I decide I want to come out with a Plumber coin. So I get 5 friends who are we're all developers. We create this phone app for trading. We can all endow ourselves with whatever volume or balance we want to start out with. We could all say we all started out with $100, $1,000, and then we start mining for this particular coin, that the Plumber coin. We're all mining for the Plumber coin, and as we mine, it shows that I started out with $100, but it's my coin. So I'm mining for it. Next thing you know, I have 1,000, 10,000. Now I have $1 million in Plumber coin that I've personally mined. I show you my phone. It shows the balance. And then my friends, they show their phone. One person has $50,000. Another person has $300,000. But we can't get our physical money out of the coin, because then it needs to be transferred to somebody that has some form of payment. And let's say we have it all converted and transferred to PayPal, because PayPal has an excellent payment system. And let's not forget, when Elon Musk, he pretty much developed PayPal by himself, but he did it with other people as a partner. But he was the main coder for PayPal. When they developed PayPal initially, it was a cryptocurrency. So PayPal was initially designed in Santa Clara, California. It's over there by Six Flags, Marriott's Great. If you're from the Bay Area, we still call it Marriott's Great America. Is Six Flags and whatever. But that's where PayPal is. That used to be tomato fields and everything. So PayPal, they couldn't get it approved as a legitimate crypto. So what they converted PayPal to was a payment processing system. And it was very efficient in converting different currencies to a common currency, because all you needed to do was convert it to US dollars, and then you could cash people out. And US dollars are accepted by other countries to transfer into their government banks. So that is the problem with liquidity. Even if I was able to get the Plumber coin converted and transferred into PayPal, I would need enough volume from you, the outside world, Mark, to convert my my value in coin to US dollars. I would need, and this is, man, Mark, I love you. Thank you for asking this question, because this is one of my pet peeves on why I don't have a coin right now. The only way Daniel Plummer, could get my money in US dollars out of a particular coin network, a blockchain network, is I would need to have enough investors who have global liquidity, because what I would do is I would force everybody to convert to US dollars. The only way you could purchase the Plumber coin is if you took your currency. You could have a rupee, you could have whatever, British sterling, British pounds, EU. The only way you could buy it is convert the EU to US dollars and then purchase on my platform. Now, to be able to back out and get that turned into actual cash, you would then have to sell your shares, transfer it to PayPal, and then PayPal would convert it to whatever prospective country you're in. When it comes to crypto liquidity pools, what they do and what I've seen with a lot of meme coins, and that's why I'm very hesitant to get into a lot of meme coins, is you get all these guys that are on Twitter X, and I'm a part of that group, and I'm watching through the feed. Hey man, airdrop coming, airdrop coming, airdrop coming. So I buy into whatever coin they have. I get into that platform, I buy it. It keeps growing and growing and growing. Then I turn around and say, hey, I've made some money. I want to get out. I can't get out. And that is what a pump and dump scheme is. And it's because all those dudes on Twitter X who are saying airdrop now, airdrop in 3 weeks, they've taken their money out. And there really is no liquidity. And because of that, there's no payment processor like PayPal, no banks. You can't transfer or convert crypto into US dollars. Because banks will not accept crypto directly because it's still not regulated. And this is now what I'm telling you guys is my experience from working at the Federal Reserve Bank in San Francisco. That is my claim to fame. That was my best and most prestigious job, was that I was the ACH specialist. And you guys have seen ACH most of your life. You didn't know what it means. It means the American Clearinghouse Specialist. In the United States, the way banks communicate with each other is through the Federal Reserve Bank. And the Federal Reserve Bank is the bank of all banks in the United States. And if I am with Bank of America, which is my bank, and I accept checks from Wells Fargo, well, at midnight, and this is what I did every day in the 90s. This is around the time of Y2K. I would go in and I would look at all the banks in my district. I'm in the 12th district. The 12th district is going to carry California, Washington, Oregon, Alaska, Puerto Rico, Guam, the Philippines. And the Philippines is sending its money electronically to San Francisco, to the Federal Reserve Bank in San Francisco. So let's say they received $3 million in deposits. $2 million is from Bank of America and $1 million is from Wells Fargo. So I receive it on Monday. I go into my office. I sit at my desk. I enter that the Bank of Philippines received $2 million in Bank of America deposits and $1 million in Wells Fargo deposits. At midnight, I'm the ACH specialist. At midnight, it clears the American Clearinghouse. And then Tuesday morning, let's say around 6 a.m. in the morning, in the Philippines, all of the deposits, the $2 million in deposits from Bank of America appears, and $1 million in Wells Fargo appears to everybody in all the banks in the Philippines. This is the same thing we're dealing with here with liquidity. Is banks have a lot of regulations through the Federal Reserve Bank, and they need to have a certain amount of deposits on hand. It's generally like 10%. So if you're receiving $1 million, you need to always keep $100,000 of physical cash with the Federal Reserve Bank. Once you drop below that, you get a notice. And if it stays more than 24, 48 hours, you get hit with a fine. And so banks cannot accept crypto right now. So they would like to get into crypto. And that is why there's so much talk about XRP. Now, I didn't want to get into this because I'm making a separate YouTube video about this. I don't like XRP. I don't like Ripple. It's nothing personal. Ripple is in Berkeley, California. They're on Gilman Street, Gilman Avenue. I drive. It used to be a brew house, a beer brewing house. Now it's Ripple, and Ripple is commissioned by Bank of America. So this is Bank of America's backdoor method in trying to become the Federal Reserve of cryptocurrency. So Bank of America commissioned Ripple to create a closed blockchain network. And that closed blockchain network is XRP. So the majority holders of XRP have some affiliation with Bank of America. So now they say it's decentralized, but still we don't know if you and I can get into that blockchain and mine for ourselves. Still, I don't like I'm into Bitcoin because there's nobody, even Satoshi Nakamoto, he doesn't control Bitcoin. I'm into Ethereum because there's nobody that controls that blockchain network. And that is the only way you're going to get me into any cryptocurrency if it's decentralized and anybody can get in and mine. Right now, you and I, we can't mine for Bitcoin, but I have heard rumors that there are Bitcoin mechanisms that will allow you and I as Americans to mine for Bitcoin. And this is because of Donald Trump's promise, which he's not going to be able to keep that. I love Donald Trump. I'm a MAGA dude, but there's no way that Donald Trump would be able to keep his promise that all future Bitcoin mining will be in the United States, because that will give the United States an indirect monopoly over the mining of Bitcoin. Currently, 40% of all mining of Bitcoin occurs in the United States. So Bitcoin, the United States is already a global dominator of Bitcoin mining right this moment. So I think we can double that, but we're still going to be competing with China. And now it's my understanding that the Russian government is also mining for Bitcoin. So good question, Mark. I'm going to have more. I'm actually going to respond to your question before I sign off today, Mark. So let me put that in. What is your take on Bitcoin, crypto liquidity pools? Crypto liquidity pools are dicey. Let's see. Hopefully I spelled that right. There's no guarantee okay, I spelled that wrong. So there's so everybody just be cautious right now. Right now is a holding. Right now is a good time for holding your Bitcoin position. Okay. Right now there's just no certainty in the market. And because of that, you just like right now is a good time to just sit back and just sit back and watch the market. This is actually a good buying opportunity right now. And anytime you see Bitcoin dropping, this is a good time for buying. And you've already seen that Bitcoin has already rebounded. It's dropped below 90,000. It's already at 92,000. What's happening now is all the weak players are being cleared out of the market. If you have, there you go, Mark. Hey, so if you have Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency, just sit on it. Don't make any, like, nothing I'm saying is financial advice. I'm not Jim Cramer. I just got another offer to get my Series 6 license. And I'm just like, if I get a Series 6, I always wanted to get my Series 7 license, but that was back in 1991, 1992. So I'm past that point now. Um, so I would say right now, yeah, so nothing I'm saying is financial advice. I've been a financial trader since 1991. So I've been trading in the market for over 33 years, doing stock options, foreign currency, and gold and silver bullion. I've been following the stock market since the late 80s. So I almost have 40 years of experience in the stock market. I started following the market when I was a kid and learning how to invest and just picking up books at the library at my local Catholic school. And I just taught myself from there. And I've been studying the markets for more than 40 years. And so it gives me and what I've seen, there's nothing new in the market. That's what I'll tell you. After 40 years of trading in the different markets, 32 years, more than 32 years trading as a investor, a personal investor, and making hundreds of thousands of dollars and losing quite a bit of money as well. There's nothing new in the market. The way that traders are behaving right now with Bitcoin is the same way they've been behaving with stock options for the last 30 years. So if you want to know how to trade Bitcoin ETFs, if you want to know how to understand Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptocurrency, do what I did. Like in the 90s when I was in college and I was majoring in math and economics, I just went to bookstores. I went to Stacy's Books. That was the best bookstore in San Francisco. It's on 2nd and Market Street. I'm sure it's still open, but physical bookstores, because of Amazon, which, remember, when they started, they were all about selling books. Then their first non-book product was Air Jordans in the 90s. So, but we need to get back to physically having bookstores there. There's just, you're limited in what you can learn through a Kindle. Me, I'm old school. I need to be able to flip through the pages. I like to dog ear pages. I like to highlight, underline, so I can go back to my notes 10 and 20 years later in a book and remember what I was writing. But if you want to learn how to invest, I used to get technical trader magazines, and that was hot. And you saw all the geeks walking around in San Francisco. This is me. This is what I learned when I was in my early 20s and I was putting myself through college in San Francisco. I would go to Stacy's Books and I would sit during my lunch and go through books, John C. Maxwell, Zig Ziglar, every type of stock trader, all the classics. I read them all, everything. I'm talking about investment books from the 1930s to 1940s. If you want to be a good investor and understand the market, online, you can find on Amazon historic books. Look for books from the 30s and 40s. That's when they used to teach you really how to invest. You can get back subscriptions to technical traders. In there, also, I studied Elliott wave theory. So that is a good way. Elliott wave theory is what we were all doing in the 90s. And now, and the only way you could follow it is with a Reuters machine. And that's what I did. I would just sit in my brokerage house all night and watch the market. And that's how I began to understand the spot, head and shoulders, moving, using MACDs and all of this stuff. And, you know, don't be afraid. Like me, I've made a lot of money and I've lost money in the market. And you got to get that thick skin because one of the mistakes you'll try to make is you'll try to recover loss, past loss. So I've lost money in the market and then I've tried to double down on certain positions so I can gain back that loss. And that's how you go deeper into loss. Remember, let your profits run and cut your losses short. So if you're losing, some of the worst losses I've ever had is because I stayed in the market too long and I was hoping that the market would rebound. And it did rebound, you know, but it probably took 9 months to rebound. And I was trying to stay into a stock option position that had a 30-day contract. And you're not like, here's another thing I'll let you guys know before I let you go. Be careful right now. You need to get AI tools because these institutional investors, these hedge fund investors like CalSTRS, California Teacher Retirement Fund, California Police and Firemen Fund, and New York Fireman Fund, these portfolios are billion-dollar portfolios. And when they put, their market makers, so they make the market. So California Police and Firemen Fund, they're located, I think, somewhere on the peninsula around Stanford University. I think they're in San Mateo. Man, they may go into a crypto position or a stock option position, and let's say Tesla, they may go in with a $300 million purchase. Hey, you got to watch out. Even though I support MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor is going into Bitcoin buying $1.2 billion at a time. So he's making the market. Well, in reverse, you got California Police and Firemen Fund going into a short position on Tesla, and they're selling it down. So Tesla could be at $305, and they go into a position betting that Tesla is going to go down to $265. That's a $40 drop, and they go into it on a short. And so they place a put order, which is an option to buy at a later date at a lower cost, and they clear you and I out. When you and I got into the market, because we saw Tesla growing, it was at $295, and then we decided to get into Tesla at $302 on a going long on an options contract, thinking it's going to go to $315, and that's when we're going to clean up. Then as soon as they get us in, they put in that short sale. Next, that it is going to go to $265, and that's how they clear us out. And then you and I stay in the position, even though we see the price tanking, and we're thinking, hey, we got 30 days. It's going to rebound and go back to $315, and then it doesn't. And that's how I've lost tens of thousands of dollars. So with that, I'm going to sign out. I've been rambling too long, but hopefully you guys have found this information helpful. Hit the like and subscribe just so you can get more information. Don't just follow me or subscribe to me. Find other people like myself, people with more knowledge, more experience, more followers. Doesn't mean they're doing better than me, but you need a variety of people to combat all of these things. Don't fall for XRP. In the short term, I believe you can make money with XRP, but I'm not going for any of those. Whoever I'm going for is I think the place to go right now is a Bitcoin ETF like World Liberty Financial. That's Donald Trump's Bitcoin ETF with him and his two sons, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. They have an approved ETF that's been approved by Congress. And then BlackRock, I don't care. BlackRock is a monopolist over anything they do in the whole world. They're like Bill Gates and McDonald's and Budweiser and Microsoft. They want to dominate everything with their money. So in the short term, you definitely can make some money with BlackRock, but let me see. I want to choose my words right. Conceptually and ethically, that's not implying that BlackRock is doing anything unethical, which they may or may not be. But philosophically, that's the word. Philosophically, I don't agree with BlackRock because BlackRock is pretty much the global leader. If not, they definitely dominate all American real estate. So even Grant Cardone has talked about BlackRock. And if you're competing out there trying to buy property in Miami and San Francisco, you're competing against BlackRock, which is a conglomerate of millionaires and billionaires. That's who you're competing with. And now they see this new shiny object, which is Bitcoin. They've gotten into it, and because they have money, they've been able to get approved their own Bitcoin ETF. So I'm not with them. To me, the way to go is with Donald Trump, or more importantly, to go with MicroStrategy, because Michael Saylor, I believe his degree is in engineering, and he is an MIT geek, and he's been the CEO of MicroStrategy since the late 90s. And not only is he a computer science geek, but he understands financial markets. So when you listen to Michael Saylor break down why he believes current American corporations should hold Bitcoin as a currency reserve instead of the US dollar, he breaks it down like a banker. And his understanding of the American banking system and the creation of currency and where fiat currency is, which is physical currency backed by something. And remember, today, American dollar is not backed by anything. Up until 1974, it was backed by gold. You could actually take US dollars, go to the Federal Reserve Bank in your state or local area. And so I could go to San Francisco, I could go to Market Street to the 12th District Federal Reserve Bank, take $100 and get whatever amount of gold coins I would get with that. And that's when we were on the gold reserve. But we're off that now. So Americans' dollar, the US dollar, is backed by the American military. And that's why you see our weapons and troops go anywhere. And really, we want to stay. Right now, you've noticed we've been staying in the Middle East because we want to control that oil. Like, this is getting me, all right, now I'm letting it out, my true feelings and everything. I first have to preface this, I'm an Ethiopian Jew. And right now, the only legitimacy that the United States has in being in Israel is we're Israel's partners and we have this global alliance. And if you Google Israel and the United States have this cultural bond, and I'm like, man, come on. Jewish people represent less than 3% of the American population, so there's no cultural bond there. And historically, no, we don't have anything. Without Israel, the United States cannot justify its military presence in that area. And that is the number one reason. And once that money runs dry, you're going to see the state of Israel change. When the United States can no longer finance, like if we ever balance the budget, then we would have to stop giving out free money like to the Ukraine. We wouldn't be able to give $500 million as Joe Biden goes out because he'd have to account for that money. As you see now, we're in a $35 trillion deficit, and it's because we've been giving perpetual money to Israel to fund them fighting whoever they want in that region, so we can then go there and hang out and take whoever's oil, whether it's Kuwait or Iraq, whoever oil we want to take, we just go there and take it. And I'm not with that. What I do support, though, is Donald Trump's notion. We went into the Panama Canal region. We built that. We paid for it ourselves. Jimmy Carter was being kind and said, hey, we're going to give this back to you. So because, hey, we came into your country. We took this land and made it easier for us so we wouldn't have to go have to sail at the southern tip of South America. That would be the only way. What's happened now is the Chinese control both gates on both to the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. The Chinese control both of those gates. By doing that, that gives the Chinese government the same authority that the Americans have is, hey, we need to put our Navy in this region because to protect Chinese interests. That's what the United States is always saying. Hey, we got to protect American interests. So the Chinese now have a legitimate reason to have the Chinese Navy around the Panama Canal on both outlets because they now control it. So what Donald Trump has to do, we have to go back to the Panama Canal, kick the Chinese out, tell the Panama government, we control, from now on, we control this region. Okay, and let me turn that off. This is a bad time. Okay, and then it'd be great for us. With Greenland, it's the same thing. If we don't control Greenland, either China or Russia are going to divide it up. And there's a lot of minerals there, a lot of, you could drill for oil and everything. But still, now I'm getting off my topic. So now it's time for me to close out, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with more information. I want you to understand this whole thing as a person who's been investing for more than 30 years, studying investing for more than 40 years. You need to understand this global terrain. You need to understand the future of fiat currency. Fiat currency is already dead, is been dead, And the American fiat currency died in 74 when Henry Kissinger convinced Richard Nixon to take us off the gold standard. So not the and so Michael Saylor is correct that the US dollar is worthless. So why would you hold the US dollar as your currency when the Federal Reserve has no ability to control the ebb and flow? And traditionally, it's the Treasury Secretary that will issue bonds, and then investors buy the U.S. bonds, which is then they collect those dollars, they put the dollars in reserve. So now you have a shortage. And when you have a shortage of a currency, you increase the demand and the price. Now, even that, because every time we need money, what is Janet Yellen? Hey, you need 2.5 billion. We don't have 2.5 billion dollars to give to the Ukraine. Don't worry about it. We got some paper, we got some green ink. We'll just print it out. We'll give the Ukraine some money. What, Israel, you need some more F-16s. You can't even support yourself or defend yourself, but we're going to do, hey, no worries. Here's $500 million. And it's just paper and ink. So all you got to do is go get your Monopoly game, look at that, and it's colored paper, and that's all the US dollar is just sophisticated colored paper, which is worthless. So Michael Saylor is correct that current American corporations should hold Bitcoin. And then the next thing is to begin to hold Ethereum. Ethereum is a smart contract, so that's another solid cryptocurrency. With that, I'm signing out of here. Man, I've almost gone 40 minutes on a 15-minute podcast. So thank you for tuning in. Hit that like, subscribe, share it. I'm just like, I'm just a kid from the country, from the Napa Valley. And I always wanted to be rich. And so I studied hard. I had a lot of jobs I've worked every aspect of banking in San Francisco. I've worked at many of the major banks in San Francisco. I've done every aspect of accounting as well. And because of that, I just have a good understanding of the money supply, money flow, and how to get rich. So let's all get rich together. I don't care whether you're a Democrat, independent, a Republican, a Russian, a Chinese, an alien from Mars. Let's get rich together. All right. I'll see you again. This is Crypto Kid signing out. And remember, the future is crypto.